So, I am a little bit late with this video. I don't usually do this. Hi, how are you? I haven't uploaded this video. I haven't edited it. I'm literally sat doing it now. Not on my stairs, obviously, but not the point. It's late because of my birthday and I went away again, and yeah, I've been everywhere at the minute. So I'm just finally getting back into editing. Me and Casey have also recorded a new makeup challenge video, which was a complete mess in the end, but you'll see that soon when I get around to editing that. But enjoy this video and hopefully my uploading schedule will go back to normal. So I had two completely different experiences. Hi guys, so today I'm going to be explaining to you about my recent tattoo and piercing experience. And I also have dyed my hair blue again. I'm officially not in a horrible colour, so let's get into it. So let's start off with my tattoo, since that was the first thing I got that day. I got a quote that I like, and I really wasn't sure where I wanted to get it. I went into the tattoo place. I was in Skegness, and I went into this tattoo place and I explained to the man what I wanted. I had a picture on my phone. The picture is here of what I wanted to get. And I explained to him that I wasn't sure, and I really liked the font, and we went through a few fonts on his computer, and I was just kind of like, I don't really like any of them. But he said to me, he gave me advice. He said, if the font was too small and the writing too cursive, as I get older, it's just going to kind of squish together. So we went through a few fonts and I actually found a font I liked, and he spoke to me about the positioning as well, because I ended up getting it on my thigh, which has a picture here. And he basically explained to me that I wanted it, obviously, as you saw in the first picture, like kind of like that, with the start of the quote with a comma and then the end of the quote like underneath each other. And he said that basically the idea behind that on my thigh would be a bit because it like wrapped round, and I didn't want to do that because I didn't want it wrapping around my thigh and stuff. I originally wanted it on the front of my thigh, but ended up having it on the side. So, you know, I can see it and it's like easy, it's quite nice, I love it. And when I went in, they told me I had to wear a mask whilst I was doing it. I actually have a video. I wasn't allowed to take videos in there, but I managed to sneakily get one of me wearing a mask whilst he was doing it. They provided me with a mask whilst I was in there. I had got one on me, but they just said they'd give me one. And whilst the tattoo artist was doing the tattoo, I was speaking to him about where's the most painful place, which he said was actually the ribs. Even though I've been told like the collarbone and stuff, he was like, no. He's like, they're painful, yes, but the ribs are probably the most painful. It took about 15 minutes to do it all told, and I think it cost me like £50. I think. I can't really remember how much it cost me. But I'd been saving for it, so it was alright. Like, I understood that it was going to be quite a bit. If I'd had it done in my hometown, it probably would have cost me a lot more. The only downside to my tattoo, as you might not even be able to see it in the pictures, it's not very noticeable. But in the pictures, there are two letters. I think it's on the left side, my left side, so this side. I think it's at the end of the quote that there are two letters and the tops of the letters are missing. Like, you don't even notice it, but obviously I can see it because I know it's there. So it's just the tops of two letters that's missing, but I could probably even get them filled in. Like, that's not even a big job, and it doesn't look stupid. Like, and for a tattoo, I had this one done at the same place. So it was a really good experience. I've had only good tattoo experiences, to be honest. Even when I had that done, that was really good. Like, I expected the paw to be a bit painful, but it was alright. I'm quite high tolerance to stuff like this, so I didn't really have a problem with it. And when he was doing my thigh, I was told by other people who've had tattoos done on their thigh that they kill and they're painful, and I was just kind of like, this is painful, but it's not that bad. Like, I'm high tolerance to stuff like this. So all in all, it was really good, and he just wrapped it up afterwards. That was with tissue though. The place that I got this done as well, it was with, they just stick tissue on it and then wrap it around with like micropore tape or something. So that's the only downside to it, because I had this wrapped in cling film, so you can't apply cling film afterwards because that will trap bacteria into the tattoo and then you're a bit screwed. So I just kind of took it off when I went back to the like little pod we were staying in. So yeah, it was a good experience. Like I mentioned, in no businesses in this or places because I don't want to get in trouble. So yeah, but it was a really good place. If I could tell you the place I got it, I'd recommend it, but I'm not prepared to start that. So let's move on to my piercing experience, shall we? In 2016, I had my nose pierced, and I had it for about a year, and then I went to a different college and they said I wouldn't be able to have it in because of working with animals and stuff. Now obviously I go to uni, but obviously we don't work with animals as much in uni, so I can just take it out, put a retainer in, stuff like that. So that's all covered and I'm fine. So I decided whilst I was away, on the same day as getting a tattoo, I decided I want my nose piercing. So we were walking around like this place. I can't tell you where it is. We were walking around this place in Skegness, and my auntie found like this stall on a market, and it said that they did piercings, and I was like, why does this not look good? Like, it just doesn't look good. So we went and inquired with the man that was running the stall, and he said, he was like, it's £15 to get it done. You need to sign this consent form and stuff, you know, because obviously I'm 20 now. I signed the consent form. Well, I spoke to them first about what they were using to pierce, because I didn't want it done with a gun. I wanted my nose piercing with a needle, because I had it done with a gun before in 2016, like a proper piercing gun. When you have it done with a piercing gun, the piercing is the needle. So the needle bit was sticking into my septum for about 6 weeks, and then I couldn't get it out. So I had to have it yanked out. I had to go back to the piercing place I had it done at and have it yanked out, because I just couldn't get it out, because obviously the head of the needle is bigger than the like tube bit, so it was harder to get out and I just couldn't do it. I just really couldn't do it. So I went over to the woman who was piercing and I was like, what do you use to pierce? Because I want to see beforehand what you use. Now, when she showed me what she was using to pierce, I was like, okay. It was literally a little piercing gun, like about that big, white, and it had the piercings in it. I have a screenshot of them on Amazon. You can literally buy them. I was going to buy them like a week before and pierce it myself with one of these. You can literally buy them for like £3.40 something. If that's on the screenshot, I can't really remember how much you can pay for them. I thought it was like £5. So you can pay that for 2. So when I saw that, I was a bit like, okay. I knew what I was getting myself into, but I still went with it. I was like, do you know what? It might actually be okay. I knew it was the needle piercing, and I was like, I don't really want to do this, but I went with it. So the room that she had at the back of the stall, it did look quite clean. She was spraying like antibacterial around when each piercing was done, so it was like changed around, and you know, so there was no risk of infection. I think that the piercing guns were bought out of a sanitize box. I don't know what you call them, UV sanitizers, something like that. Anyway, so I think they were bought out of them, so I highly think they were sanitized. So it looked clean. There wasn't any like, it wasn't grotty or anything. It was just the back of a stall, so you kind of think, oh, you know, this might be a bit dodgy. But it wasn't, it was okay. The woman was quite nice and the man was quite nice. So I signed my consent form, I gave him the £15. I was like, okay, we're going to do this. I explained to the woman when I saw what she was using to pierce that in 2016 I had my nose pierced with a gun before, and I was kind of like, you know. But she kept saying to me, she kept repeating to me that even before 2016 it has been illegal to have your nose pierced with a gun. And I was like, but I had it done in 2016. She was like, she said something like that she'd been piercing since 2005 and she knew what she was talking about. She was like, they've definitely been illegal since before then. I was like, well, okay then. I don't, a proper piercing place that I've been to in my hometown had pierced my nose with an illegal piercing gun. As I was a bit like, this doesn't really ring true, but okay, I'll go with what you're saying. But just before I started recording this video, I have Googled it, if it is illegal to have your nose pierced with a gun, and I have found nothing. Nothing in the UK, nothing in like Australia or whatever. I found nothing to say it's illegal. They've said it's not good because obviously the force of the gun could potentially shatter your cartilage, which obviously I know because when I had it done, they explained that to me. But I've seen nothing of it being illegal. So where she got that from, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I've never heard that before. She also kept repeating how long she's been piercing, and she had like certificates on the wall to say how long she'd been piercing. So obviously, if they've got certificates, you think that's quite reputable, like they're showing that they've learnt to pierce. But when you go to some places, sometimes it might be like a retail shop or something, but they can pierce there, but they've only been given minimal training for piercing, like ear piercing or whatever. So, when they've got certificates up, you think, wow, that's so reputable, that's really good. But as kind of like, okay, well, she knows what she's doing, clearly, if she's got certificates, so, yeah. Casey actually had hers done first. We can't actually recall, neither me or Casey, asking how old Casey was when she had it done, but it was with her mum's consent. Like, it wasn't like Casey just wanted it done. She does look older than she is, so it was kind of like, okay, a mum gave consent, whatever. We actually had to wear masks as well whilst we were piercing. The woman wore a mask at the same time, but we could only have them over here, obviously, because we was having our nose pierced. But, it was only a quick thing, so it didn't really matter with the masks, but we did wear masks and we were safe. So when it came to piercing my nose, she did the dot, and I didn't really like where she'd placed the dot. It kind of seemed like not in the middle. I really wanted it in the middle where I had it last time because I really liked it. When I had a ring in, it sat really nice. Like, I just preferred it there. But when I told her to move it back a bit, she said, if anybody asks, you wanted it there, not the piercer. Kind of a, you can't blame her if it looks stupid kind of thing. So I was a bit like, you can't really say that. Like, you can if you want, but you told me that I could have my piercing anywhere I wanted and you wouldn't really mind. But you told me basically that I'd kind of look stupid if I had it there, or, the positioning's wrong. I said to her, I was like, do it where you think then. I was like, wherever you think's best, do it there. Because I just didn't want to kind of debate it, like, I just kind of wanted it over with. So she put a mark where I wanted it, and I was like, okay. And she says that she still wasn't happy with that. So she said she was going to pierce in the middle of the 2 dots that she'd done. I was like, okay, fine. So she pierced in the middle of it, and to pierce me, she literally stood at my side and literally grabbed my head like that, or something like that. She grabbed my head and literally was holding me like that, and obviously pierced it. And once she did it, me and Casey left to go and meet up with our family again. And my nose still hurt. I was like, okay, so we're in a bit of pain here, but it's fine. Obviously you've had a piercing, your skin's gone through trauma. But Casey's pain had gone down, kind of thing. Like, there wasn't much pain there. And I was kind of like, why does mine still hurt? Like, my last one didn't hurt this much. So I was a bit like, Okay, we'll just go with it. Like, I couldn't move it at all. Like, obviously, you shouldn't really move it, you shouldn't really touch it. But I kind of just wanted to shift the position a bit of it, but it just wouldn't move. Like, Casey could move hers a little bit, but I just could not move mine at all. Like, mine just would not shift. So, not even 10 minutes later, I definitely knew there was something wrong with this piercing. Like, this wasn't right, this wasn't sitting right, I was still in pain. It just hurt. I wanted it out. I wanted this person coming out now and changing, or completely coming out. Like, you shouldn't take piercings out before 6 weeks, but I could not deal with it because I knew the pain wasn't going down. I could, like, my option that I wanted to do was put Savlon on it because maybe it'd help, but literally I wanted it out because I knew, obviously, with my last piercing in 2016, I could literally this time feel the end like against my septum, when before, if I like laid on it, my nose would go against it and the piercing would go against my septum. So I was a bit like, I can already feel the pain. Like, I don't want to lose sleep over this because I'm laying on it, because I lay on my side. So I kind of was like, want this out now. My family went off somewhere, like towards the beach or something, and me and Casey went to another piercing place. A guy greeted us at the door, and I said to him, I was like, this may be a strange request, but I have literally had my nose pierced like 10 minutes ago. I was like, can you please take out the jewellery and change it? And he literally turned around and was like, yeah, of course. I was like, yes. I like literally, honestly, I'd asked Casey. I was nearly crying with happiness that this guy had said yes, he'd help us and take my piercing out. I was so happy. I was nearly crying that I was so happy. Casey did look at me a bit funny, but I was just happy that he was helping me out. So me and Casey went in, and he got me on the table first, and I was sat there. And he got the plastic bit off a piercing needle and said that he was going to get the jewellery through that and pull it out that way. Or something like that. I'm not a piercer, I don't know how he was going to do it. So anyway, he was using the plastic bit in my nose this way, and he was looking for it, and he was like, I really can't find the end of this piercing. And I was like, you can't find the end? Where's the end of the piercing? Like, I can feel it, but I can't direct you to it because I don't know where it is. Obviously, you don't have a back in and a nose piercing because you can't do that. So he literally just couldn't find the back of the piercing. He couldn't find the end of it, and I'm there like, this needs to come out, like, please. So in the end of trying for a while, he really couldn't find the end. So he asked me to lay down on the table. I was like, cool, fine, I'll do whatever. So I lay down on the table, and he continued to try finding it. Obviously, because I had my head back, he had a better chance of finding it. And literally not long later, he finally found the end of the piercing. Obviously, it's not going to go far. It sounds like I was in there ages. It really wasn't. Maybe I was in there about 10 minutes, him trying to find it, because 10 minutes less, because it really was stuck in there, he says. So the reason he couldn't find it was because the woman had actually pierced into the extra skin at the top of my nose. On the inside of my nose, she pierced into the extra skin. So my piercing was sat like that, and it was like that. So it wasn't sat diagonally like it should have done. It literally was sat straight. So it was no wonder I could feel it on my septum, because it was straight and stuck there. So he literally said, he was like, this is botched. This is like so bad. And he says, this does need to come out. I was like, yeah, I can feel that. I know. So this guy was incredibly nice. He was like so funny, and he was asking me and Casey where we were from and stuff, and he was just talking to us normally, and we were talking about the strangest places had people pierced, like the most painful place to be pierced. Like, he was so nice. I told him if he needed to yank this out, do it, because it needs to come out. And he said okay. He was like, we'll try for a little bit longer to see if we can get it out, and if not, I'm gonna have to yank it. So he ended up yanking it out, but he tried to nudge it with the plastic bit and just ended up just pulling it out. It bled for a little bit, but it was fine in the end. And he said that he actually wanted to pierce it with a needle this time, and I was like, yes, thank you God, finally we are getting pierced with the needle here. He said that he actually really wasn't happy with the precision that she'd pierced it in, like it was too high. So he actually took it down a bit, which is where it is now. And so I had a hole just above this one and then this one. So, you know, that was a bit gross because that one kept bleeding a bit, and I was just like, oh my God, like, can't we not do this? So afterwards, he just pierced my nose again with the needle, which was kind of strange. I had the needle through, obviously, and ready to put the jewellery in. And Casey was like, you look really nice for your new piercing. I was like, thank you, Casey. I really needed this. And he gave me like tissue to dry my eyes afterwards, because your eyes water when you have a piercing. And he's put a corkscrew one in, so basically if it came out, it would go to one bend because there's multiple bends in it. I probably after 6 weeks will change it to a straight one or a ring. I'd like a ring back in my nose because it's just part of me. I like it. He then did Casey's, but Casey's wasn't really botched much. He just took Casey's out, and then he didn't need to re-pierce Casey's because hers was in a good position, but he just put a different piece of jewellery and he put corkscrew in as well. But mine's blue with like a purple jewel, whilst Casey's is like blue with like a blue jewel or something like that. He only charged us £10 each for it instead of charging me more to have mine re-pierced. He was like, no, because you've come here and you've kind of had it botched already, I don't want to charge you more. I was like, no mate, like I would happily pay more. If you wanted me to pay more, I would pay more because you've saved me. Like, but he was so nice not to charge more. I was like, okay, fine. But one thing he did say to us was he asked where we got it pierced, and I told him where we got it pierced. And he said that the woman that did our first piercings claims to have been piercing longer than she actually has been. So she says that on her certificates it says like 2005 or something like that. But the man that did our piercings again explained that something like 6 years ago, she actually went to him and asked him to teach her to pierce. This is allegedly, by the way. Like, I don't know how true it is, but essentially from what he's saying, the numbers and certificates are crap. But is that true? I don't know. Maybe he said it because we'd gone there and I'd paid extra money for him to sort it. But, you know, I don't know how true it is. Don't take my word for it. Hence why I'm not saying any company names or where it is, because I'm not up for getting sued. So, yeah. No names mentioned, no nothing. Like, so essentially I left a bad review with this woman because I wasn't happy. Like, if you're going to botch my nose, like, I'm going to leave you a bad review. Like a 1-star review, there you go. I will never be going back to that place to have any piercings, nor to even pick up any jewellery, because do I know if they're sterilised? No, I don't know. But I don't know anything about piercing, so maybe it was just me. But when somebody botches your nose piercing, then I don't think it's me. But maybe it was where I had it pierced and my choice, but I don't know. So I've kind of had a bad experience with piercing this time, but it's not put me off. I definitely want more piercings, but I'm not too sure. So that's it really for my piercing experience and my tattoo experience. Comment down below if you've had any bad piercing or tattoo experiences before, because I'd love to know if it's just me that's had a bad experience. Okay, follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you sometime. Bye.